Hey guys, welcome to SC Custom Designs. You're in the shop at SC Custom Designs where we love to make things. We are officially going to kick off 2019. I had to think about the year with our very first project. We were contracted to make a sign. No, take the sign. This weighs approximately 67 pounds and it's about a quarter inch thick, something like this, or half an inch. It's just really heavy. And this is the company that I used to work for, and we got bought out by UL. Now the owner of the works asked me if I would take this sign, which we had taken down because, again, it's now not the works, it's UL, and make a coffee table. And this is going to go into his office. So, well, I had to start thinking about how I'm going to go about doing that. So today, I went ahead and I started drawing out the various pieces. This is going to go around, wrap around the glass. I decided to use oak because oak is really strong. So we'll just go over the pieces here. These are going to be the legs. This is the actual glass. These are going to go under the glass, these pieces here, to help support it. And this is going to be the sides of the unit. So it's, if you've seen my video here, this here is a cherry coffee table. This is my YouTube channel here, and I encourage you please to subscribe to our channel, please, and leave your comments, and we'll get back to your comments, and hopefully you enjoy the journey. So we talk about the journey and the techniques that we use, you know, and this type of thing. Now, interestingly enough, you could take, let's go and walk on over to this side of the shop where we're going to take a look at the wood that I picked out. This here is $330 worth of oak, my friends. Okay. Now you may notice that I have clamps on the wood. Now why is that? So I don't know when exactly I'm going to get around to joining up and cutting this oak. What I don't need, my friends, is for it to start warping and going in its own direction, and we know that's going to happen. So I just brought it home. So we have these Jorgensen vices. I got 2 of them on there, and then I got some clamps on this end. So it's sitting down there. It's acclimating to the humidity in my wood shop. And you may wonder, well, what is the humidity in your wood shop? Well, you will know that it just went down 1%. Interesting. It's 41% humidity, and the temperature in here is 55 degrees. I highly recommend that because what happens with wood when it's too dry, not enough humidity? Well, it cracks like this. So that's what you don't want. In this case, it's just beautiful. This is from across the street. They took down a really huge tree. So this is a project, and I'm borrowing some of the concepts from the project from this table that I did for a customer. Now this was, please go ahead and look up this video. Cherry coffee table is awesome, made from recovered cherry wood. This was a kitchen table, and the customer stripped down all of the wood and took the hardware off, and then said, I want it to be this. And so this is now in their living room, and it was a lot of fun. So we have a little shelf under here. The shelf on this unit is going to be a little wider, all right, and but pretty much I took some of the ideas from this unit here for the unit that I'm going to be making for this really heavy piece of glass, okay, this sign here. So now, what are some of the tools we're going to be using along the journey? We're going to be using a biscuit joiner when we talk about joinery. If you're not familiar with a biscuit joiner, this here is $200 for this, and all it does is creates cavities so that you can put 3 different size biscuits in the wood. So we'll be joining up our oak and using this method here, and it's like a no-brainer. This knob down here adjusts according to the biscuit that you have, so it's a no-brainer. This unit will sit in my cabinet down over there for the longest time, but man, when I need it, it's got to come out. And we'll be joining up the wood for the unit. For example, I'm going to need to join up the wood to make this piece here. Okay. We'll be using the router. I'm going to be using the router because I'll be dadoing. I will dado this piece. We'll be dadoing the bottom shelf, which I actually didn't draw out. Actually, it's not on here. So I have to add that here. It's going to be the shelf that'll go to the other side of both sides there. So I'm going to go ahead and dado that in. And what I like to do, in this case, oh look, it went off. In this case, essentially, what I did is I joined every piece to itself. Okay, so this piece here is dadoed inside into the sides, and then as we go up on the unit, you're going to see that these pieces are dadoed into the top, into the top of the unit. Everything is tied into itself. Well, that's not going to be. What a handsome guy. That is not going to be possible. I'm not going to dado in the glass, right? And again, this baby is heavy. So I have it sitting on a drop cloth down here in my basement in the wood shop. All right, so we'll be using the biscuit joiner. We'll be using a router. I'm going to go ahead and put this heavy-duty guy into work. We're going to use our planer. All right. I want to get this stock-looking marble. I want to and there are some imperfections in the oak. One board in particular, I have to be careful where I use it. It's got some concave. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it's got some pitted concave area in there. So, at any rate, there you go. I'm very, very excited about this project that came to SC Custom Designs, and I want to thank the customers. Keep the orders coming in. All right, so thanks for coming into the shop. Let's see if I got any more notes here. Router, biscuit joiner, planer. Oh yeah, and lots of clamps. So if you don't have a variety of clamps in your shop, you definitely want to think about that. All right, these are little hand clamps. Then we have longer clamps, and some of these clamps can push away the material and clamp in the material. Then you have longer clamps like this, and then I keep the other clamps, and you'll notice that these clamps are very accessible to the table, so I can put them in and out of service real quick. The other clamps that I have and that we'll use, more than likely, I got pipe clamps over there, that's almost as tall as I am, 6 feet or more. I also have Shopsmith clamps down in there that are really good for when you're joining up one board to another, like lots of thin boards. Okay, that is a nice unit there because what it does is it squeezes this way and this way with the materials. So we've got all kinds of clamps over there. It's really amazing how many tools you actually use. We'll probably use the radial arm saw in the journey because what I'm going to do is rough cut the pieces. I generally try to go over a couple of inches because you have to prepare for error. And I always start off a little bit longer than what I really need. We'll probably also use the chop box. So we'll use this miter saw. And so there you go. You know, what I don't have in my arsenal is a really fine razor cut tool where you can, once you make your angle cut with the Raider arm saw or whatever you're going to use, then you take that razor unit and you can cut right down on it. I don't have that in the shop, so there you go. And my jointer is not repaired yet. I have to go ahead and put new knives on there, and I got a jig that I purchased so that we can set the knives where they need to be set. So this is a beast, a beast. This was a gift to SE Custom Designs. Actually, this unit here, very generous table, in-feed and out-feed table. Belt-driven motor there. Very, very nice unit. Also, we were given other things in the shop here. So these are, you know, if you see a tool or a jig in my shop, then I probably did a video on it. We just cleaned out our our dust collector. I tell you what, when I turned it on, watch this. This is something you need to do. You need to empty out your dust after a while because there's just no room for the air to go to, and you start losing your suction after a while. And trust me, you're going to need that when you have like the jointer, for example. Although I have to say, look up the demo on this. One video I did a lot of talking about this unit, and then I used it. But this blower in this unit here, in this DeWalt, is strong enough that you don't even need the dust collection. But mind you, I don't want the dust going all over the place. But I'm going to give you an idea of how strong this cone jet dust collector is. All right, let's plug it in and watch how fast this guy goes up. Here we go. How's that, my friends? And why this is called the Vortex Clone is because they have this cone in here, which is just up in here, okay? You can see maybe that the material, the dust is going in circles because it comes down, it hits the cone, and then it spins around and shoots it down there. So so there you go. You really need, if you don't have a dust collector, I mean, I couldn't afford a dust collector when I first started out. I had just a few tools when I first got married. Matter of fact, I'll show you where my shop used to be back in the 90s. And I learned how to do my woodworking in Israel, by the way. It's in here. This is called the Maybe House. And right in the middle of that house was where the, let's see if I can do a little zooming in here. I hope I don't make you sick. All right, right there in the middle to the left of where those ladies are is where my wood shop was. Well, now that was given over to the Historical Society. We actually did a show there in 2018. That was a lot of fun to go back. Two of my kids were born there. And so that was a lot of fun. All right, let's wrap up our video. Not too terribly exciting, other than you get to see the journey. All right, nothing's been done yet. We had to spec out the pieces. All right, now back to this here. This is going to wrap around the glass. I'll join those pieces together using the biscuit joiner. There's other ways, other tools we could use, but I think I'll go with that. The bandsaw. How can I forget about that? Let's add that to the list. The bandsaw is going to be used because I need to be able to cut out this piece here. Another tool I'm going to use is going to be this unit here. This allows you to create your shapes and then lock them in. All right, I actually used that to make the sides on this unit here. So I used it to trace out where the shape that I needed on the side here. And you could actually, if you do it just right, you could take your router and you can router the shape out, okay? That type of thing. So there's so many ways to do a thing, but I think I'll cut the bottom of that out, possibly on the bandsaw. All right. So notice the plug; it's unplugged. You want to always be sure of that. I could also use a jig. I could use the jigsaw. All right, which is over here. Got the jigsaw there. It remains to be seen. That's the thing. I love the options that we can have. Well, at the end of the day, you don't need all these tools. So please don't be discouraged, by looking at other folks' wood shops and what they got. Like I said in past videos, my very first tools were tools like this, ball peen. We would use hand saws like this, which are great for cutting out your dovetails. We're going to be using these markers, these gauges, dovetail markers, but you don't even need those. You could do them by hand. We didn't have those in Israel. So, we just had the basic tools. Your coping saw, all right, that's your traditional coping saw. Here, this coping saw here can go in any direction. It's a Japanese unit that I got. Also, I got a nice Japanese saw here. My friends, that will cut hair thin. It is amazing how thin that thing can cut through the wood. Then you have your rougher and your more cruder versions of those types of things. But again, you don't need these fancy tools. Boy, does it help to have them. Yes, I would agree. Thanks for coming into the shop, SC Custom Designs. We really appreciate that you've taken the time and somehow you found us. And again, this is part 1. I'm going to go ahead and premiere this video. I'm going to upload it to YouTube and to my channel. That'll give me to about 502 videos or so. So we've been doing this for a while. We just love woodworking and we love to do shows and so on and so forth. I actually am going to register for my very first 2019 show, which is going to be in some local church. They approached me when I was doing the Maybe House, Maybe Farm show with me and my wife. So there you go. There's some of the units that we sell there. We call those the beer caddies there. So that's my old sign for SC Custom Designs. Here's my new one up here, SC Custom Designs. We just love to design the projects, and that's exactly what we did here, my friends. Take care. God bless. Shalom l'kulam baratz Israel. Hello to everybody in Israel and to my friends all over the world. Thank you for patronizing SC Custom Designs. God bless.